Hey, it's me. It's the world's smartest painter, and I am on the job here in Canoga Park. I'm painting. Let's zoom to it. I'm painting that house right there. I'm parked one door down here so that I can access the back of my truck easily from the driveway. But I'm working on that place right there, and doing the exterior, doing just the front exposure, just like I was the last time I talked to you guys. Excuse me, I just pounded down a hot dog and I got a burp. I guess the last time you saw me on the job, I was getting rained out on that last thing I did over in Studio City. So I do range far and wide. So on this thing, I've been in Sunland, Studio City, now I'm in Canoga Park. And I live in Thousand Oaks, so, you know, this old truck does cover some ground. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about right now, I just got a few minutes here, and I'm running on about 3 hours of sleep. I worked real hard the last couple of days and went home and sort of crashed out last night about 9:30, and I woke up and it was only 11:30. And I thought, it must be 5 in the morning, you know, I wake up, and usually I get up around that time. And I realized, oh my God, it's only 11:30 and I'm wide awake. And so I went on Netflix and I watched couple episodes of House of Cards, and this show, much like Breaking Bad, has got me really conflicted, because I find myself, and this is by design, of course, you find yourself rooting for the bad guy, and you know these people have, you know, no moral rectitude whatsoever. They're complete sociopath. The guy, Walter White in Breaking Bad, you know, this murderous meth producer, who nevertheless you like. They're sympathetic. And then this one, you've got this power couple at the center of it, played by Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright. And you know, spoiler alert here, if you haven't seen the show, but this guy has just casually killed two people so far, and with no remorse whatsoever. There is, you know, no sense at all that anyone's going to stand between him and what he wants. If he's got to kill him, he'll kill him. If he's got to, you know, set him up and imprison him, no worries, he'll do that. And this is the thing that is so troublesome these days. Is it used to be when we were young that you would see bad guys and evil guys doing bad stuff, but they would be punished in the end. The good guy was going to be your point of view character. See, the thing about cinema and even books, when you read the book, even a book, it doesn't even have to be written very well. If it's written from behind the eyes of the bad guy, you identify with the bad guy. It's the guy that you're following through the story who will be your point of view character, and therefore the one you identify with. And after a while, you're rooting for that guy to get away, no matter how heinous that person is. And Hollywood has moved more and more to this place of blurring, not just blurring this line, but really coming down on the side of bad people. And we had that thing, Dexter. And I haven't had TV for a couple of years, so I'm a little behind the scene, a little bit behind the curve here. But I was just driving down the street on Ventura Boulevard in Studio City the other day while I was working on my other job, and there was this new show coming out, Hannibal. Now, I guess it's going to be a series following Hannibal Lecter. Now, Hannibal Lecter came on the scene as played by Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs, as like the embodiment of evil. And then, as that series wore on, then they made the second one and the third one on that. And by the time you get to the third one, he's the main character. He's the guy that you like. And this guy is just, you know, a horrendous person. You know, the worst imaginable human being. But the thing that really struck me last night when I'm watching this thing in the middle of the night, it's about 3 in the morning or something like that, and I can't get back to sleep, so I'm watching this show. And I realized how much I cared about these people, how much I cared about Kevin Spacey's character and Robin Wright's character, even though they're just appalling human beings. And so I realized, well, okay, at first I appreciated the show. I mean, I liked the show very much. It's a great show. And the first season, I thought, really great show. And I appreciated that they had not made the bad guys Republicans, but had actually made them Democrats. I thought, okay, that's a step in the right direction. But then last night when I'm watching it, I thought, well, that is another level of the depravity of the whole thing in Hollywood. Because now they're not even bothering to distance themselves politically from the bad guys. They can go ahead and make him their guy. And you see him, being sort of a functionary for the Democratic Party and going for, pushing things that we all know the Democrats do care about. And the Republicans being the opposition, they are advocating for things that we know the Republicans do care about. So they've put themselves, the writers, directors, producer, and all the people they've put themselves through this point of view character on their own side politically, and then are going ahead and making this person appalling. And that just seems that it's getting to the place where they don't even feel that they need to distance themselves from that. It's one thing to make you fall in love with a character that's a bad character, but it used to be that they would at least make that person be a Republican, or some sort of person that you could know that the filmmakers themselves were not relatable to it. You might feel you are relatable to it because you're behind the eyes of this character, but they at least themselves would be divorcing themselves from it. But now they're not even bothering to do that. And it's, if you read my stuff on Sandy Hook on my blog site, you'll see that, I really believe that that is by far glamorizing this sort of violence and then setting a sort of standard of sort of celebrity to aspire to is far more culpable than the NRA is in gun violence of the type that is guys dressing up and going into schools as if they're going on a commando raid. They've associated a certain type of us against them, me against the world heroism with cold-blooded killing. And I'm feeling that in this thing that I'm watching, this House of Cards. I'm feeling, oh my God, I don't want these people to get caught doing this stuff. I'm actually rooting for the bad guys. And so, this is what happens. You start rooting for the bad guys. And I know that I can watch for it. I have something that I can remember. I can, remember and seek out things where I am morally rooted as the point of view character. But when this stuff just is put into the culture, it's an engine of decay. It really is. It's the I'll make a painter's I could make a painter's analogy. It's like dry rot. It just gets in there, and the fibers of the structure, like I'll have to dig out wood and get it out of there, get all that corroded and rotten fiber out there to get it back down to where there's something structural, and then I'll have to rebuild it. Well, we've got a lot of rotten in the society, and shows like this that I myself am a fan of and watching are really part of the whole thing. I don't know how far they're going to go with it, but I thought the striking thing about it was that they no longer are even trying to divorce themselves from it and even have to make these guys be Republicans. So anyway, that's just a quickie. I got to get back to work. Thanks. This is if you like what I'm doing, just I'm going to be doing a whole series of shorter things because obviously nobody's watching my longer stuff. So this will be, I'll be doing some 5-minute things. So subscribe to my channel and you'll hear about all that stuff.